Okay, so welcome Lee, welcome to the Planned Resources team. I'm just going to ask you a few questions today just to get to know you a little bit better. So the first question we're going to start off with is, why did you join Planned Resources?
Very early in my career, Russell was a competitor of mine. He was establishing the architectural recruitment capacity for another recruiter, and he was basically one of my big competitors at that time. So I kind of got to know who he was through that, and then I moved away. 20 years passed by, and we caught up last year, and it just felt like a great place to be. A recruiter that does things that I think is the right way to go about it. There's a lot of churn in recruitment, and I don't necessarily think that's the best way for a recruiter to really partner properly with the business. And Russell, to me, really wants to do things the right way, and that fits really well with me.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your background then.
So I started recruitment in 1997, so quite a while ago. This is my third job, so it's not too bad. So 3 jobs in 24 years almost. So I've only ever recruited for design-based industries, mostly architecture, interiors, urban design, with a little bit of planning as well. But those design-based roles are probably where my passion lies, and where I have the most interest and the most contacts. Most of my career has been in Melbourne, although I did spend quite a chunk of time working in Sydney as well. So I've got quite a good knowledge of what goes on up in New South Wales as well. Although Melbourne is really where I want my focus to be.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And how do you like to recruit?
Look, recruitment to me, I think, works best when you have clients that trust you. And so for me, the goal is to get a client to trust you, because that's when you find that sweet spot where you're not just a service provider, you're actually someone that they want to engage with. And I think some of those recruiters, we focus too much on the end result, and there's a whole raft of stuff that we can do for our clients through that process, in terms of just market information and advice, and what we're hearing other groups are doing, and all those sorts of things. And I think those things are really important, and that's the bit that you get to with clients that trust you. It's not just about the transaction of, we need to fill role X. You genuinely become somebody that they trust. I've got a lot of clients that I've had now for 20 years, and I can catch up with them, and we spend an hour talking, and half an hour, 40 minutes of that is actually talking about how the business is going, and what they're trying to do, and new things they're trying to implement, and sort of me giving feedback on what I've heard other groups doing, and how that sort of will impact them. And that's what I like. I'm not here just to put a bum on the seat. That's anybody can do that. And I would hope that we can provide a little bit more than just bums on seats.
Yeah, of course. That's a great way to be. So on that as well, who are your favourite type of clients?
I love the design stuff. So I say this to people quite often. If I had to spend 20 years recruiting for accountants, I just wouldn't be interested enough in what they do to enjoy my job. Architects, interior designers, urban designers, they're the people that I like to deal with, because they're unusual. They do stuff that I can't. I've developed a real passion for design, and that's what keeps me going every day, because there's always something different and unusual and strange happening. And even within those areas, there's so many different types of people. There's the real kind of way out there and crazy designers, right through to people who are really just straight down the line, very production and quality focused. It's a broad sector, even within its quite narrow focus.
Yeah, of course. All right, great. And what are your work goals for 2021?
I think, like most of the world, my goals for 2021 are probably no more than to survive it. From a personal level, hopefully we get a chance to establish the design capability at Planned Resources, and we get a chance to build that. Really, I suppose what I want to do is finish the year having, I suppose, brought in a good range of new clients to the business, established ourselves as a business that is expert in the field, who takes great care in what we do, and who feels a genuine kind of passion and interest for what we do. And I think if we do that, then you do all the good things and all the right things, then you get the results in a track. And you know, I think if you focus on the process and getting things right, then everything else will eventually fall into place.
Yeah, of course. It's a good goal for the year. And my final question is, what do you like to do outside of work? Do you have any hobbies or anything like that?
Look, I have 3 kids. So my life ceased to become rock and roll about sort of 15 or 16 years ago. So quite often my weekends is about driving kids to and from events, and then doing the usual domestic bliss around the house. But look, I love my footy. I'm a Geelong supporter. In winter, certainly interested in that, and there's the time it's basically playing taxi driver.
Okay, brilliant. Well, it sounds like we've got a lot going on this year, and everything like that. Thanks so much, Lee.